Hi guys, I hope you're well. My name's Asia.
And I'm Ash.
And we're the parents from the Blackistani Family. So we've been approached by City Kids magazine who want to know more information about Black History Month. So we're just really doing this not only for the magazine but for our own viewers and people out there to give them a bit of an insight regarding Black History Month. So Ash will be answering the questions that I've given him. Hopefully this will give you a better idea of Black History Month and what it means to us as a family and Ash as a black man. So my first question really would be, what do you think about Black History Month?
Before I put it out there, just as a caveat as well, that all the answers are not representative of what all black people think. This is just from my personal experience and my own thoughts and feelings just growing up as a black man in Britain. So with that, what do I think about Black History Month? Well, you know, whenever there is an opportunity to speak about black excellence or accomplishments, I'm always, you know, one of the first to say, okay, great, you know, do you know about this person? Do you know about that person? You know, as you can see, I've got a vintage jumper there, Black History Month, and it's got all, you know, prominent people on there. And I've been rocking this all month. So yeah, it's really important to be able to share stories, good and the bad, about you know, your background and you know, from your community. Although I must admit, Black History Month for me, although you know, it is initially a good thing and started off as a great thing. I'm not saying that it's not great now. I do think that you know, trying to cram all accomplishments and success stories in 1 month can be it's not something that can be done really, and nor do I think it should just be done in 1 month. So although Black History Month is nice and it's great and it's always an opportunity to learn about people from different communities, from the black communities, personally, I think we should be going to a point now where this should be a regular thing, the things that we know in black history to be a regular thing to learn by. I think that education in the West should be decolonized, if that makes sense. You know, not just, especially in Britain, right? We hear about the Victorians and the Tudors, and then we fast forward to you know, World War I and World War II, the Blitz, and then that kind of really it, as well, especially for me growing up. But what I would like to see more is stories, contributions, and success story, and you know, history from all communities that have contributed to this country. And I think that should be shared, and that should be in the education syllabus itself, because it's the communities in this nation that's kind of made it the nation that it is today. And you know, I think that's really important. So yeah, although Black History Month is great and is a nice time to talk about the significance of the black community, especially in what we've contributed in Great Britain, I think it kind of does a disservice just to keep it to a month and then not acknowledge it in the rest of the year. I think it kind of should be mainstream and rolled out into the education syllabus now.
So rolling on to the next question, if you could add Black History Month or Black History in general into the school syllabus, what content would that be?
That's a good question. I think just following on from the last one, and it does relate to this. When we say black in regards to specific people, we already acknowledge it as a race of people, and we know who we're talking about, right? And even black people, such as myself, I acknowledge I'm a black person. But there is no White History Month. Well, that's because, of course, it's already you know, that's part of the syllabus in education. But then also at the same time, you would say there is no Asian History Month as well.
No, it's just black.
The reason, yeah, exactly, it's just Black History Month. And why is that? Because with white history, there's white people from all different areas of the world. And so with Asian, when people say Asian History Month, but what are you talking about? Automatically, someone will still go to you. Well, what do you mean Asian history? Are you talking about the Indo Pac, South Indian Asian culture? Or are you talking about the Far Eastern culture for Korean or Japanese or the Chinese and the Mandarin or Cantonese, or what are you talking about? It's only when it comes to black, it's just black, boom. But we kind of really need to define Black History Month as well. What does that mean? Are we talking about the communities from Africa? Are we talking about the communities from Haiti? Are we talking about the communities from the Caribbean, the Aborigines, the Afro-Latinos? Who are we talking about when we say about Black history? Because that's a big spectrum. So that kind of needed to be defined, but more so if we was to add it to the schools, which we should do, I personally think that it has to, of course, relate to the country where it's being taught. So in Britain, we should mention about the Windrush generation, right? Because it's a travesty that a lot of the people that I've kind of heard about the Windrush generation for the first time, it's because of the scandal that happened a year or two ago, where they were getting deported from the government. So we need to know about Black history, so to speak, but from the communities where it's directly impacted the country that it's being taught. I know about such British greats like Diane Abbott being the first Black female MP, Paul Stevenson OBE, who Bristol, who led a great civil rights movement and helped put a civil rights law into place, an act into place. So I think that's kind of what needs to be in the syllabus, things that are directly impact what is in there, what has contributed, the Black communities that are contributing to the country, so that's being taught.
Okay, brilliant. Obviously you've got this amazing book club, the Growth Book Club. What books would you recommend for the audience or people out there to read?
Stick on topic in regards to Black History Month and just Black experiences in general. You got non-fiction, so I would go with Natives from Akala, which is great. Why I No Longer Speak to White People About Race from Reniero Lodge. Black and British by David Olusoga. British by Afua Hirsch. You got How to Be an Anti-Racist by Ibram X. Kendi. Autobiography of Malcolm X is something that really impacted me when I was young. And then you got fiction as well. So Girl, Woman, Other by Bernardine Evaristo, The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett, Mr. Loverman, Kindred by Octavia Butler, who was a great sci-fi writer, Afro sci-fi. It was her works are amazing, and I think it's important to read not only non-fiction but fiction as well, because even in fiction, people from different backgrounds, whether Black or non-Black, ethnic diverse communities, will put their own experiences or what they know, right, that's been inspired from their real life into the fiction stories, and so you're still getting it from another lens that you may not get it from. So it's important to read not only non-fiction but fiction books as well. As you mentioned, this is why we kind of started the book club, Growth Book Club. So growth.book club. So growth.book club, where we read, where we pick a book from an author, from a person of colour, and we alternate fiction and non-fiction, and of course we read the book and then we review it and speak. And even me, I've learned a lot from what other people have been said that I may have not have thought about it in another way. So it's really good to do that. So those are the books I'll recommend, and join a book club, join Growth Book Club, or any book club that's easy for you. Yeah.
We'll put the book club on our stories throughout the month so you can follow it. So my next question really would be, how could employees create more diversity in workplaces?
Well, the simple answer is to hire people from diverse backgrounds and make sure you're hiring people due to their skills and capabilities rather than whether you'll be comfortable working with them or not.
Yeah.
I don't think that's much of a problem in cities, from my experience in a way. In cities, I don't think that's much of a problem. I think, if you go to the big melting pot cities like London, Manchester, Birmingham, you will have, and even Liverpool, you'll have a lot of places, retail and otherwise, where you've got people from different backgrounds and they're working in that place. I think what is more important as well as diversity is inclusion. So diversity and inclusion. So what do I mean by that? Well, I heard this, so I'm not making this up. I've nicked it, but I've heard from a great explanation of diversity and inclusion. So diversity is hiring is hiring different people from different backgrounds, right? It's kind of like inviting people to a party. Yeah. But inclusion is including them in the party games and actually getting them involved, if that makes sense, right? I'm sure some of you may have had a time where you've gone to a party or you've gone to a gathering and you've kind of still felt like a bit of an outsider because you didn't really know everyone or fit in or anything. Well, inclusion is like, hey, no, yeah, you join in as well and join in the festivity. And that's kind of what it is in the workplace as well. I don't think it's enough just to kind of have a diversity quota where you go, well, yeah, I've got black people working in this company and we've got Asian people working in this company, and I don't think that's enough. You need to kind of get them included as well, and show that you've got inclusion. So what does that mean? That means having forums, spaces, safe spaces, and a voice for them to speak their mind and share ideas. That includes actively putting them in positions of power so that they can help widen the scope of the business objectives, because it has been proven. And this isn't just fluffy, feel good, objectives. This is, business 101. It's been proven that the more diverse and inclusive you are in your workforce, the more innovative you are, because you're going to look at things from your business is going to look at things from different points of view, and you may be able to go to you were able to reach different communities that you never thought you would be able to reach. You're able to be a bit more creative. There's so many benefits. So diversity is good, but inclusion is better, and you need to strive for both of those things to create a healthy workplace.
Okay, awesome. So next one's a bit of a fun question. If you could have dinner with someone, who would it be?
Malcolm X will be my first choice, because it's Malcolm. He was, but still is a big influence on how I see the world, how I look at things, and he was just such an amazing person, and so yeah, he's on the top of the list. Stokely Carmichael, aka Kwame Ture, again, brilliant thinker who was ahead of his time. Fred Hampton, so one of the prominent leaders of Black Panthers, who at the age of 21 was killed by Chicago Police Department because he was forward thinking, and he got down to the bottom of the reasons of African Americans that had a plight, and how they needed to fight for their liberation. So yeah, just to get into those minds over some nice food would be amazing.
Okay, what advice would you give to your 16-year-old self looking back now?
I went through a lot when I was 16.
Yeah, you did.
But this isn't a regret. This is not like what would you. This is like what advice would I give on top
what
of
you
what
give,
I
not
do.
regret.
Yeah,
No.
because I don't really believe in that.
Yeah.
Regretting. But advice, I would say, one is to get actively more involved reading your history a lot more, because that's not something I did when I was 16. I didn't really take education seriously at school on a whole, unfortunately. If I, except for religion, of course, religion I took seriously, but in regards to my own heritage or where I came from, or I didn't really. So that's something that I would try to get more involved in regards to reading up more about my history and the fight for Black liberation, and get more active in being financially literate, which I don't think, again, a lot of Black, many of us are as a community. I think we could be better with being a bit more financially literate and business savvy, and be able to, because they don't teach you that in school
They
either.
don't do that at school. That's what I'm saying. You don't know.
You don't know about that, right?
No,
you'll know things about
a Bunsen burner or something like that, but not finances,
but
or
not
mortgages,
finances or mortgages, or how to deal with your money, how to be more
lifetime skills.
Lifetime skills. So those are the two things I'll probably say. Look, learn this, because later on in life it's going to help you.
Okay, so could you name a Black influencer that you look up to and why?
I don't really look up to influencers per se, really. There's a lot of accounts that I do like that, like I pay attention to when they post.
Yeah.
So I call John Boyega. I love John Boyega, and I met him personally. He's a great guy. No Name, who's a rapper, but again, she's very conscious in her lyrics when she raps, and also, she's always, feeding off some knowledge. And just, general fun things. Will Smith is always fun to look at. And, a lot of what I look at as well is just like vintage clothing and sneakers as well. So, but in regards to influence, I wouldn't say that they're influencers, they're just prominent people. But yeah, those are people that I pay attention to a lot of the time.
So I know you like listening to music quite a lot. So who's your favourite artist and why? And do the words in their music have some meaningful meaning? Like,
music is a big part of my life, and it's something that I really, really love. I don't know if I have a favourite artist. Music for me is about moods and about emotions. So, I was raised up listening to R&B, hip hop, jazz, blues, soul, Motown, Afro beats. So I have a very eclectic taste, and even now I'll be playing something and ask you, like, what are you playing? What is this about? What is this? I'll be listening to like Latino music, and it'll sound like we're in the middle of Nando's one time, and then I'll be putting on.
Let him do his thing.
Yeah, I'll put on Nirvana one time. So I'm addicted to sounds, and I like how sounds. Certain sounds, they marry with one another, and if it makes something, then it
creates a different
feeling or atmosphere or something inside me, then I'll love it, and I'll keep it, and I'll save that song until when I'm in that mood to listen to that.
Some of the songs are for his unique taste, but yeah.
Hey man, every place that I go to, I'm the DJ. Everyone goes, Ash, you, because we know that your music is, and it's true, my music bangs, man. Like my playlist all the time.
All right, mate.
So yeah, do what? Do the lyrics have to?
Yeah, do they have like meanings? Do you listen to it because of the music, or do the words?
I listen to it because of how it makes me feel. Do they have any meaning to the lyrics? No, not really.
Some of the songs.
Some of them do, but they don't. Not all of them, and they don't have to. Music is a recreational thing. Like, not everything has to be a learning moment. Some of the music, I just listen to music because I want to listen to it. I don't need to. Okay, what are they trying to tell me? You know, some jazz, some jazz, they don't have any lyrics in it whatsoever. You just hear the trumpet going all the time, and you're like, what? So it's just a euphoria of that feeling of what the instruments of what they've put together. So not necessarily. Some music do have great lyrics, and I mentioned that No Name.
Yeah.
Some don't have any lyrics. Some do have some lyrics, but they make absolutely no sense. You know,
just go along with it.
But you know, if the song slaps, it slaps, and I listen to it and I like it, depending on my mood. But yeah, I don't really prioritize an artist anymore than like I used to before.
Yeah.
It's just whatever is on, really. It's one of the things that really helps me come out of my comfort zone. And if that's what you really want to do as a person that wants to be creative and come out of your comfort zone and explore, listen to music that you wouldn't normally listen to. Just play any playlist, and if you don't like it, go to the next track. If you don't like it, and probably maybe a track that you're like, oh, this is a bit different, but I like this, and then start from there, man. It's such a great way to broaden your horizons and your tastes.
All right, my final question is a bit more serious. What words of wisdom do you have for the next generation? Like our kids?
Probably the same that I had for myself.
Yeah.
So, you know about your history, and how it can help you. So, you don't want to fall into the trap where you know about your history and like, come on, we're being oppressed for so and so years, and it's just all wallowing and there's nothing to, it's good to know about your history, it's good to know where you come from, but also it's also good to know about certain solutions that you can do going forward in helping your community. So know that, and also again know about business, be financially literate, and business savvy. Get to know about these life skills, because you're gonna need to be even if you don't want to have a business, you need to know how to deal with your money better. Because I was, and I'm still not the greatest, but I'm much better than I was before. Dealing with my money, right? You want to always be saving more than you're spending. It makes no sense to be bussing 150, 200 pound trainers and then you're broke for the rest of the month. Do you know what I mean? Like, and people in the youth sometimes kind of they can fall into that. So try to stay away from that. Be a bit more clever and think about longevity and how you can use your money and save it for something like a rainy day. And probably even for non-black people, learn this is a time now where we've seen an uprising all over the world in regards to Black Lives Matter, a chance to educate yourself on being a great ally and how you can help, how you can educate yourself and your family and your friends, and to not tolerate racism, like actively call it out.
And there's a lot.
There's
of
a lot
our family and friends, and we truly appreciate that. It's amazing.
Yeah. So, and I think once you do that, it doesn't embolden racists to be able to do what they have or will think they can get away with in the future. So that's my advice.
Thank you so much. That was actually awesome, and I think we should do this quite regularly. So we will make more videos like this. We've got the kids involved with a few projects during Black History Month. And I may have some more questions for you as well, but thank you so much, and I hope that was some great information that you guys can take in. Again, thank you City Kids Magazine for getting in touch with us and then allowing us to give this opportunity, because it's something that we wanted to do for a while. So you've given us a bit of that push, so thank you so much, and I hope this short video does help a lot of you out there. Take care, much love. Bye. Bye.